or the proposer of the motion. Selene Saxby.
Deputy Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member for Bolton South East for securing this important debate today and for her long-going and outstanding ongoing work on this issue. I am here today on behalf of my constituent, Helen Barham, who since her birth has suffered from the brain disorder, the agenesis of the corpus callosum, hydrocephalus, damage to her skeletal system, a brain hemorrhage at only 12 weeks, leading to epilepsy. She wears calipers and boots due to her feet deformities. She has had to have a number of major surgeries throughout her lifetime, including spinal surgery and a total hysterectomy. Despite all of this, she still awaits compensation. Compensation which would allow her, a personal carer, and more comfort than she currently lives in. Following her brain hemorrhage at 12 weeks old in 1975, and quoting her mother, Diane Sermon's words, Diane was told that Helen would be spastic, mentally retarded, partially sighted, and if the doctor was her, they should go home and forget about her, as she would be nothing but a cabbage. Diane and Helen have defied this awful prognosis. Helen has an active social life with swimming, discos and holidays to Butlins. Over the last almost 50 years, Diane has tirelessly kept fighting for Helen to have the best quality of life possible. But ultimately, the opportunity for a normal and healthy life was taken from Helen whilst she was still in the womb. Because in 1974, Diane was given 2 pills following a missed period. It was only when Helen was 3 years old that a doctor from Great Ormond Street Hospital informed Diane that it was likely these 2 pills, Primodos, were the cause of Helen's disabilities. Whilst Diane has dedicated much of her life to Helen's care, as she herself has said, it has often come at a cost to her other children, her marriage, and her relationship with her own parents. She is getting older and less able to look after Helen herself. All Diane asks is for Helen to receive compensation so that she can have someone to care for her all the time. Helen is currently in hospital, having experienced yet another complication following recent surgery to remove her gallbladder. They were unable to remove her gallbladder fully, and Helen is still struggling to recover on the ward. I welcome the government's apology to families by the former Health Secretary on behalf of the healthcare system, but it is financial assistance that families like Diane and Helen's need. And as already said, the Independent Medicines and Medical Devices Review, led by Baroness Cumberledge, found that the drug should have been removed from the market in 1967, and that both the state and the manufacturer had an ethical responsibility to fund a financial scheme for those harmed to help them with their care costs. Having been born in 1974, Helen certainly falls into that camp. The government is already working towards redress systems for valproate and vaginal mesh as advised by the Independent Medicines and Medical Devices Review, but there has been no progress on a scheme for Primodos families. The 2018 systematic review of historical human studies by Professor Carl Hennigan clearly demonstrated that Primodos has had a clear association with different forms of malformations, including musculoskeletal, neurological and neurogenetical, all of which have affected Helen. Modern science is also paving the way. Previously, it has been impossible to prove a direct link with human studies, as this would require testing the drug on pregnant women. But Professor Neil Vargason has found similar outcomes as seen to children born following their mothers being prescribed Primodos when testing the drug on zebrafish chosen for their genetic similarity to humans. A new study has used chicken embryos and human cell lines, and even with low doses, produces developmental abnormalities. The full results of this study are due later this year. Baroness Cumberledge felt that there was enough evidence of a link between Primodos and complications from birth for financial support in February 2018. Since then, the evidence base has only grown. I would just like to reiterate to the Minister today how much the financial redress recommended by the IMMDS would make a difference to Helen and Diane's quality of life. Diane trusted her NHS doctor and our medical system, and now we need to support her and her family as they continue to face Helen's complications together.